We'll call to order the meeting of the Haverford Township Zoning Hearing Board of Thursday, April 4th, 2024. Present at the front table to my far left is Jessica Vitale, a voting member.
Good evening.
Ed McGargy, a voting member. Ernie Angelos, our esteemed solicitor.
Good evening.
Jesse Boynton, a voting member.
Good evening.
My name's Robert Kane. I'm the chairman. We have 3 new cases. Before we begin, Ed, would you like to lead us in the pledge?
Stand if you could, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we begin, I'm going to announce that we had an executive session after our last hearing on March 21st, and the board retained Mark Kaplan. Not Mark Kaplan. This is a C.
Well, you're tired, I understand.
It's tax season, and I'm an accountant. Mark D'Amico as special counsel to the board relating to a specific appellate matter. I just wanted to announce that publicly, and I want to take a vote of the board to affirm that decision. Jessica, are you in favor?
Yes.
Ed?
I concur.
Jesse?
Yes.
And so do I. So Mark D'Amico is our special counsel for a certain appellate matter. We have 3 new cases tonight. The first is Z2407, Robert and Emily Farabelli, owner of 827 Beechwood Road, Havertown, PA, DC folio number 2206-0022500, who seeks a variance from the provisions of section 182-206C5A to construct a 240-square-foot porch across the front of the facade that will be located 26 feet from the right-of-way, when a minimum of 30 feet is required. Property is on R4, low to medium density residential, and located in the 6th ward. Robert and Emily, are you guys here? Come on up. So, and before we begin, first I'll swear you in. I'll walk you through this a little bit.
Okay.
So ladies first, please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
And your full name and address for the record, please?
Emily Farabelli, 827 Beechwood Road, Havertown.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
And your full name and address for the record, please?
Robert Farabelli, 827 Beechwood Road, Havertown, 19083.
Okay. So you guys attached certain drawings, things to your application. In order for them to be referenced and made part of this case, they need to be marked as exhibits
Okay.
and moved into the record, and I'll help you with all of that. But, so if you look at your application, and if you want to help them, that's great. Standing's good, right?
Yeah, so I would submit that copies of the deed to help us kind of understanding, which means you have a right to file, or at least the application should be something you'd want to submit as an exhibit on the record. And we typically give applicants a designation of A, so make that A1.
A1. Here, hold this here.
Yep.
Then, looks like the plans, right?
Correct.
Yes.
So I see 2 plans. One appears to be, is that the existing?
No,
No,
we don't
this
have
is the finished front view.
That's the finished? Okay.
Yeah.
So P1, no, it's referenced as P1 on the document, but I make it A2, just for purposes of identifying. What's marked as P1,
okay.
that will mark as A2,
Gotcha.
that is the finished elevation of the proposed
That's correct.
developments. So that's A2. And then we have what's marked as P2, which will make A3. That is, that your lot area that's a, I guess it's a plot plan?
Plot plan.
Yeah.
Yep. With
that-
the,
With the
know,
proposed.
with the proposed
Right,
covered
so it's
porch.
got the existing structure, your dimensions for purposes of the property, and then what looks to be the proposal of the front.
Correct, yep.
Mark that A3. Don't need that. That's all I have in my file. Do you guys have anything else?
That's it as far as
That's it?
drawings go. The rest are just descriptions. And
So we have exhibits A1 through A3.
So they're admitted. Now that we've gotten through that, please tell us a little bit about what you would like to do.
Okay, so, right, we had a large spruce in our front yard that was overgrown, and the roots had damaged our front walkway and our existing pad that was there. And, that needs to be repaired for just water runoff and stuff like that. So we wanted to bring a covered porch out to help with the elements, as we need to repair that existing padded area that's damaged.
Anything else?
As far as that, that's the plan for us. That's what we're hoping to do.
Jessica?
So to confirm, you're building a porch that spans the entire front of the house, correct?
That's correct.
And is that the minimum porch size that you need
Well, what, in depth
in width?
and width? Yeah. Yes.
Can you expand upon?
Well, we
Why
can't
do you
go any further than that. We want it to be symmetrical with the house.
Okay,
and
so
want it to
the
run
width is
the length-
determined
the
by
length of
just
the
being
house.
symmetrical to the house.
Yes.
Is there any need on your part outside of aesthetic or looks
No,
that
just,
would require it to be that wide?
it was just, the pads were all, every pad throughout is all damaged from the roots. And, unlevel, so that all needs to be repaired anyway. So we wanted to do the whole thing, so because there's existing pads the whole width of the house currently.
Okay, and then is 8 feet the minimum depth you
Well, that's how
require?
far the pads come out. The one pad actually comes out 10.6, but we were gonna just make it 8. Just figured that was a good space for living. If
Okay.
we wanted to put some chairs or table or anything like that.
And do you have any plans to enclose the porch?
No.
Have any other questions right now?
Ed?
Yes. Following up with what Jessica just asked, if this plan were to be approved, your variance request, would you accept the condition that you would not enclose in the future the front porch?
Yes.
What about the issue of utilities? What utilities do you plan to put in?
None, really. We have a light that's right by our front door.
So electric would
That's
be
it.
your only
That-
utility?
we wouldn't even probably add electric to it.
Okay.
It's just
The issue,
coverage.
thank you, I'm sorry. The issue of stormwater runoff, the stormwater is part of your hardship here. How will this porch, how will you handle the runoff from this existing, this new addition, this new porch?
So we have a gutter that runs the width of the house that we would bring out to the edge of the covered porch, and it would run down our driveway into our backyard.
So you have a portico there, so how does the water go the full length? If I'm looking at the front porch, it doesn't look like it could all drain in one direction.
I see. Well, as far as that plan goes, Well, if it would have to run, I see what you're saying. If it would have to run both directions, we have about 6 feet on the left side as well of our yard.
So some of the water, your existing house has stormwater gutter that runs all the way across from left to right
Currently, it runs left to right, all the
and
way.
onto your
across.
driveway.
Yes.
You have to change that situation. So if you change that situation, will that impact your neighbor's property?
No,
And how is that it will not?
because on the left side, we have 6 feet of, actually, I think it's about 8 feet of yard, and it slopes towards our house. So
Slopes towards
it
your
would run, we would just run the downspout down the side towards the back.
But you would accept that condition if this was approved, that you would not impact the neighboring properties? with your-
Absolutely, yes.
My final issue is, have you looked at the neighboring properties in the neighborhood? How many people have front porches like this, and also similar impacts about whether they are intruding into the front yard setback? You know?
And we see them everywhere, and I don't know that I've heard anyone complain about it intruding whatsoever, so.
But your house is going to be sticking out further than your two immediate neighbors. Is that correct now with this addition?
Then the houses on the sides, yes, it will be.
And, okay, so you didn't document any,
I did not document it.
excuse me?
I did not document.
Okay.
I have some signatures of my neighbors that are not opposed to it, that I can hand you if you'd like.
That would be good to have it marked as an exhibit too.
I need to see if they're petitions or what they are. Here, can I have first, Robert? Thank you.
So they are the
So you're going to ask us to mark this Exhibit A4, right?
A4. Okay.
Here you go.
So your house is 827 Beechwood, and 824 would be in what relationship to your house?
So all 4 of those signatures are directly across the street from the end of my block until the Lower Marion
But your-
line.
Your two adjoining neighbors?
2 adjoining, one is a church, and the other one, they just moved in. I've hardly even seen them.
Okay. Thank you. That's all I have.
Jesse,
Have you spoken with anybody who's in opposition to your plan?
No,
And I see on A2, your architect has labeled the materials. Are they in keeping with your house and your neighboring houses in general?
yes.
All my other questions have been asked, so thank you. No other questions.
anything else you guys would like to add?
No, I don't think so. You?
Just real quick, looking at Exhibit A3, which is the plot plan,
Correct.
I see that you have a very narrow rectangular lot that actually appears that the house is pushed pretty far forward as opposed to being more towards the middle of the lot. Is that accurate?
Like we have a bigger backyard.
Correct.
Correct.
So like, it's long, but the
Yeah.
house is more towards the front. It's not pushed towards the middle, which would
Yeah,
give you more room
a
on the
little
front.
bit, yeah,
right?
I would say, yeah. About,
How is that relevant to your neighbors? So
they're
as it-
all the same,
all the same?
yeah.
If they say no, then.
Yeah. Thank you.
Welcome.
Is there anything else you guys want to add?
No, I don't think so.
All right, any other questions? Jessica? Ed?
No other questions?
Jesse? All All right, with that, I'll ask if there's anyone present that received certified mail that wishes to testify. Anyone that received regular mail? Any other residents of Haverford Township? We will close the record on this case, and a decision will be rendered either this evening or at our next regularly scheduled hearing on April 18th.
Okay. Thank you.
Good luck. You give Gary. Yeah. And you know better than me, where's that tipping point? So you have copies of all the, you can have mine if you want. All right. Our next case is Z2408, Zine Properties LLC, owner of 233 Hastings Avenue, Havertown, PA, DC folio number 2203-0118200, and John and Karen Anthony, owner of 237 Hastings Avenue, DC folio number 2203-0118300, who seeks variances from the provisions of section 182713B to permit the formation of a new lot from two separate lots, one of which is non-conforming for the front yard setback. Property zone R6, medium-density residential, and located in the 3rd Ward. So who's here for this?
Yeah, good evening. My name's Dave Damon with H. Gilroy Damon Associates, and we prepared the plan that you have before you tonight. I'm here with Joseph Taggart, the owner of 225 Hastings Avenue, and John and Karen Anthony, owners of 233 Hastings Avenue. They have gotten together, propose a subdivision plan where they are going to take 25.
Hold on 1 second.
Sure.
You're actually being the architect or the engineer
Yeah.
on the matter. You're going to be testifying on behalf of the applicants, right?
That's correct.
All right, so we should probably have him sworn in.
All right.
Mr. Damon has been before this board previously. I'm very familiar with Mr. Damon's credentials and expertise. And to the extent he is offering testimony this evening as an expert in the field of civil engineering and zoning, I would recommend to the board that we accept that without any need for any colloquy. Mr. Damon is well-known and has been qualified as an expert before zoning hearing boards on many occasions.
You represent him?
I was going to do it anyway.
Dave, I need to swear you in, Dave. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
And your full name and the capacity in which you appear for the board, please.
David P. Damon. I'm here representing the applicants and as a civil engineer that prepared the plans.
Go ahead.
My office address is 1343 Chester Pike, Sharon Hill, PA. And as I was saying, the applicants have gotten together. They have two 75-foot wide lots. They're looking to subdivide a 25-foot parcel off of the side of each of their lots, combine them to create a 50-foot building lot in between those two properties. And Mr. Anthony's and John and Karen Anthony's property at 233 Hastings Avenue has a non-conforming front yard of 16.07 feet in lieu of the 20 feet that's required under R6 zoning. And based on the section 182.713B, the variance is necessary because that anytime you modify, or in this case reduce the lot, all the dimensions have to comply with the R6 zoning, and then that is non-conforming. So the application gave the deeds and our drawing, which I would enter those in as exhibits if I'm using the right terminology. But I also have an old plot plan from 1940 that shows 233 Hastings Avenue that I'd like to hand up, as well as some photographs.
So Dave, are these pre-marked?
They are not. So let's.
Ernie, you want to take care of
Let's
it?
go through a few of these.
Tell you what, we're going to take a break and you can help Dave mark his exhibits.
Yeah, that's
So,
fine.
all right, we're going to go off the record, Jeff. As soon as the light comes back, there we go. So, do you want to identify all your exhibits?
So the deeds are
So
A1 and A2 for the two properties.
So A1's the deed for which one?
So I'll do this way. So A1 is, looks like the deed for 225 Hastings.
Yeah,
A2 is the deed for 237 Hastings.
233, actually.
233, it says 237 at the top, but okay, there's 233. 233 Hastings, sorry. A3 is a existing site plan prepared by Mr. Damon. A4 is a subdivision and, reverse subdivision plan prepared by Mr. Damon. A5
Hold on
is-
there, Ernie.
All right, faster.
I'm trying. Go ahead.
A5 is an old plot plan with Oliver and Pingley, looks like being the ones who prepared it, civil engineers and surveyors, up in Darby. Plot plan 528-529-53. And finally, A6 is a photograph from the street of the front of the subject property. Properties, I guess, right? Both.
It's a photo of the property?
233 Hastings Avenue. And that's the subject of the variance with the front, non-conforming front porch. And the purpose of the last two exhibits really is to show, the house was built presumably in 1940 after that plot plan was prepared, which is pretty much matches the way that we surveyed it. It sits on the lot in a very similar manner. As you can tell from the photograph, it's a stone porch. It's original to the house, so they date back 1940. And again, I'm presuming that they may have been conforming at that time when that was built. Mr. Anthony didn't purchase that property until later, in the 70s, I believe. And so I think it's, it just goes to show that it's something that was non-conforming, but possibly predated that setback requirement of 20 feet. There are several other houses on the street that have porches that are also non-conforming. And that's really what I have to say tonight as far as the issue goes with that non-conforming front yard. Again, I have the property owners here that can be sworn in, that can add to any questions, answer any questions you have, and
Well, Dave, just to get it on the record, tell us what they want to do.
again, it's they're subdividing 25 feet off of their side yards of their 75-foot wide lots. So we have two 75-foot wide lots. It's going to be subdivided to create three 50-foot wide lots. They all conform to the zoning requirements of R6, with the exception of the nonconformity on what is called Lot 3. It's for 230, the existing house at 233 Hastings Avenue. And that lot that's being created, Lot 2, is going to be a future building lot. Right now, there aren't any plans, but they would be, it would be built in strict conformance to the zoning code and township grading and stormwater management code.
So the only issue is a pre-existing encroachment that otherwise could potentially be a pre-existing non-conformity, but because you're subdividing, you're gonna need the variance, can't go through the pre-existing non-conformity, but you're gonna have 3 individual properties now that will comply with all bulk area requirements of the zoning district that it's in.
Yes.
Jesse?
Are you aware of 233? Is it currently occupied?
I'm not certain whether it is or not, because Mr. Anthony lived next door to it.
So the Anthony's own 233 and 237?
Yes,
And they reside at 237 as far as you know?
yes.
And there's no plans to demolish 233? It's just, you're just here for the non-conforming?
That's correct.
As far as you know, the house will continue to be kept up and, either rented or lived in or
Yes,
et cetera. And then it's noted that you're removing a shed on lot 2?
yes, that would be removed.
I don't have any other questions.
Jessica?
I don't have any questions.
Ed?
Yeah, just a general question to Dave. Would the removal of the porch at 233 be aesthetically impactful to the lot or to the neighborhood?
I think it would be, because it's stone and it's the original construction, so I think it would be difficult to do. That's one thing I would say, because it's not like a frame porch. It's actually the same stone construction as the house is.
And there are similar houses, you said, on the street with this type of porch on it?
Well, there's houses that have porches that also encroach into the front yard setback. They are not same construction, but
The only other question I have is, does it have a shared driveway with the neighboring property? 237? That seems to be rough.
yes, well, it has a shared driveway and it has, its own driveway. So it has, a garage in the back that has a shared driveway.
In that existing bituminous that showed in the photograph on A6, it does not extend into that 25-foot lot that's being taken, area that's being,
No, it clears it by about 3 to 4 feet.
okay.
Anything else you want to add, Dave?
No, none.
Okay. Let's see if there's any questions. I have no idea. With that, I'll ask if there's anyone present that received certified mail that wants to testify? Regular mail? Any other residents? Nothing? Anything else you'd like to, oh, I'm sorry, please come forward. Good evening. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help
I
you
do.
God? And your full name and address for the record, please?
Matthew Eldridge, 223 Hastings.
What would you like to tell us, Matt?
I was just concerned because the owner of 225 has doubled the footprint of the house. They built a garage, they've widened the driveway, they put a paver patio out back, and built a retaining wall, all within the last year. So I'm not sure if there's enough impervious surface now to split the lot.
Dave, you want to address that after Matt's done? Dave? Dave? Did you hear his question?
Yeah, so we surveyed that, in the fall, November, or just prior to that. So we showed the garage, the driveway. And right now, required coverage is 40%, so we're at 27.8%. So I believe that we're well within the requirements. This has to still go through, be approved by, under subdivision. So we will go out and locate, check that lot to see if there's any improvements that aren't on our survey.
And which lot would that be, Dave, in the subdivision plan, 1, 2, or
It's
3?
Lot 1, 225 Hastings.
Does that answer your question, Matt?
Sort of.
Matt, what was your address again?
223?
Is there any other concerns or questions that you have, Matt?
No, that was it.
Okay, thank you. No questions for Matt, right? Jess, Ed, Jesse? Anyone else? With that, we'll, Dave, do you have anything else you want to add?
No, I don't.
All right, with that, we'll close the record on this case, and a decision will be rendered at our next regularly scheduled meeting on April 18th.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm John Anthony.
How you doing, John Anthony? The case is over, but
I got problems getting up.
no worries.
I'm the owner of
This is all off record.
They closed the record, so you don't have to speak. You're good.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't, I mean, we'll
Yeah.
listen to whatever you want to say, but I just closed the record.
I just
on the
want to
case.
say that all the lots on the property, on the road, are 50 feet, except for these two properties, they're 75s. And they were originally, the one I have was originally 25-foot lots, and the one that Ralston had was 3 25s. And they were Ralston's 25 that's involved in it was part of the original, or was a separate lot. And he made it into, I guess about 15 years ago, for tax purposes, made it into one property, rather than leave it as
Okay.
two. And I took the two on the other side and got a permit and built the house on that property. So that's for so 50 feet is the standard width on every house, except for the two of us on, and one across the street,
Okay,
okay?
thank you. Have a good night.
Yeah.
All right, our next case is Z2409. Andy Ritterman, owner of 1421 Delmont Avenue, Havertown, PA, DC folio number 2206-00820000, who seeks a special exception from the provisions of section 182-802B1 to permit the expansion of a non-conforming structure by adding a second story to an existing one-story porch. Property is on R6, medium-density residential, and located in the 6th ward. Andy, I presume.
Good evening.
Good evening. Please raise your right hand, Andy. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Good night, Matt.
I do.
Okay, your name and address for the record, please.
Andy Ritterman, 1421 Delmont Avenue, Havertown, PA, 19083.
And you heard the exercise that we went through
I
with the
have.
exhibits. And do you have exhibits that you,
I would share one, and I'd like to ask a question about sharing another.
So, let's do
Oh,
this.
oh, sorry.
So,
Okay, yeah,
just so you have a couple plans,
Yep.
that were part of your application.
Perfect.
All right.
Yep.
So why don't we do this? And you also submitted a deed,
Correct.
which has proof of your ownership, which looks like you purchased the property in October of 2020.
So that is a refinance, or I guess
Refinance,
the
all
update.
right, okay.
The original purchase was in 2015.
Okay, all right. But you got a deed here that's dated as of
Yes.
October 2020, evidencing you're the owner of the property.
Correct.
So we'll mark that as A1, established standing. And then we have 2 plans here prepared by Jack Burns Architecture LLC. Let's see here. They the same plan?
Should be a from to. Same footprint.
Yeah, I was thinking one would be existing and one would be proposed. Yeah, so the 2 that I have are the same plan. Confusing me. All right, so the A100 is the front elevation proposed. We'll make that as exhibit A2. Yeah.
Thanks, Gary.
And then the EX100 plan, which I believe is the existing elevation, I will make that A3. They're a little backwards, but that's fine. So, okay. And then you said you might have another one?
Yeah, I mean, would you guys like that? I mean, it's letters from a neighbor and things like that.
Yeah,
Sure,
if you think it's pertinent to your case.
Sure. Well, and so one of them is a screenshot of text. Screenshot of text. This is a letter from a neighbor, Brad McHugh, who has advocated for our. He's an architect, so understands the type of thing we're trying to do, and advocated for.
And he resides at
He's 5 houses down to the down the street from us.
1421 Delmont.
Correct, within what I would consider our immediate neighborhood.
Fran McHugh.
Francis McHugh. We'll mark that as exhibit. What I have, A4.
Yeah, that would be 4.
A4, yeah.
And what I was going to share with you, if it's okay, is that I live in a twin, right? So our house is connected to our others, and what I was going to share with you is a text back and forth with the fellow twin acknowledging our plans to add this addition and their support and well wishes. So I could provide that screenshot if I could email it in, or if that's sufficient, I'll let you guys determine.
Why
Let's
don't
see
you
how
show
it
it to us?
Sure.
You can look at it.
You get to keep your phone.
If it's a new iPhone, yes. If it's an older model, then no.
Well, I could read it to you guys if you would like. Hey, Christopher, I hope you're well. Sharing a heads up that there's a sign in the grass. I'm sorry, sir. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Sharing a quick heads up, there's a sign in the grass from the township. As Grace and I are hoping to get approval to add a second floor over our sunroom. Construction wouldn't happen until 2025. Please reach out if you have any questions. Response is, hey, Andy, we just got back from spring break. Sign noted. Thanks. Sign is noted. Thanks so much for the information. Good luck on your project. This is the person that shares a wall with our house.
And what was their name?
Christopher Blinn. B-L-I-N-N.
And it does appear that he accurately recited what was in the text.
That's all the addition exhibits I have. I could speak about the project if you'd like me to. Okay, so
Please tell us, now that we got all the formalities out of the way, tell us what you would like to do and why.
yeah, so our house is a 4-bedroom house with what I would call 1.5 baths. So we have 1 full bath. Just sharing for context sake, we have 3 kids, 8, 5, and 3 years old. And so what we are hoping to do is add an addition on the front of our house, a second floor on top of a first floor, what I would call sunroom or porch in this case. And that would be a second full bathroom to our house. And so that would enable us to have 2 full bathrooms and what we believe is live in our house for the foreseeable future, call it a forever home or what have you. So that's the intent of what we're trying to do.
Ed?
Yeah, on this enclosed porch, you don't have any photographs or evidence that it's an existing enclosed porch?
It is an existing enclosed porch on the first floor.
And is it, you said the sunroom. Explain-
It has heating, it has electric heating, it has tile floor, it has windows, it has a roof. It is entirely enclosed.
It has a foundation,
It has a foundation, a concrete foundation.
so you will not have to disturb, you don't have to demolish that to build the second floor.
That is my understanding, correct. And so this is similar to what you've heard elsewhere. This is a house that was built in 1944. So as you can see, we already exceed the, I guess, allowable limit or the setback. So what we were trying to do is not increase our footprint, but just put a second floor on top of that existing space.
Okay, and I'm looking at these plans, I don't see a plot plan to really show how this where this addition fits on your house. Explain to me.
Sure. So if you were looking at the building of our house, right, which is a twin, both sides of the twin have a front one-story enclosed room, which is the entrance to the homes. Then there is this is both houses, right? Then there is a living area, a dining area, and a kitchen. At the back of the house, our pier twin has an addition on the first floor. We have an addition on the second floor on the back of our house. So what we are looking to do is to add a second floor right on the front of our house.
On the front side.
Correct.
So it will not, how will it impact close to the neighbor's property? So that it is away from the twin, right?
So there, I would say it is about 6 to 7 feet away from the boundary between our two properties. It would not touch the part that is touching our house or added to our house would not touch their house. So
It's non-conforming, so it's already too close to the setback. And your neighbors where you're adding the second floor that have not reached out to you with any complaints about?
no, and the text, the item that I had just submitted is actually me giving them a heads up of what we were doing and them saying good luck.
But that was not, that person wasn't the person attached to your house, that was the person next door.
The text was the person that shares the
Party wall.
get the parting wall. Thank
But
you.
I'm thinking that this porch is on the other side of the house. You're looking at the front of the house, the porch is it on the back of your house or the side of your house?
May I walk over and share and point it to you?
Sure.
So
And we're pointing to EX 100, which is the existing front elevation,
yes,
So that's-
so this is the front of our house.
A3.
Right, they have, so there's, this right here is the boundary, and their house would mirror it, starting here. This is where we share a wall. This is the parting wall.
Right.
So the top of it would go right here, right, which is what I was trying to describe, was not touching this wall. Parting wall, there is nothing here, this is all front yard. Here, there, sorry. Not just-
It doesn't make a clean record. Ed, you're gonna have to clean that up.
I'm looking at it. So how do you describe this existing porch? Is on the front of your house?
It is. It's the entrance to our home.
There we go. Okay. That makes sense to me. Usually you have a plot plan that lays this out, so see how, we don't have that here, but.
Understood.
But you're not going any closer to your neighbor's house. This is going to be an addition that just goes upward.
Vertically.
From the same setback from the front yard.
That is correct.
So it's the same footprint as the porch that's already there?
That is
Going
correct.
over.
Correct.
I have no other questions.
Just a comment.
Since we don't have a full site plan, it's hard to tell what your backyard or rear yard setback is. Do you know if you are approaching that setback currently?
Of the backyard?
Correct.
I don't know if I'm approaching the setback of the backyard. I would assume not, because we have I would say there is a significantly larger backyard than front yard in terms of depth, but I can't say that for certain because I'm not familiar with the exact dimensions and the regulations.
Okay. Was there any consideration to adding to the house in the backyard instead
There
of
was not.
expanding the non-conforming?
No, it does not make sense to do so. There's all, the bedroom that's back there is already connected to a bathroom, that primary full bathroom. So it would not make sense to have two bathrooms attached to one bedroom, in our perspective.
Okay, and then my next question is, it looks like on EX 100 that there is another addition. A3, thank you. That there is another addition on the first floor that is adjacent to the enclosed porch.
That is just the renovation of the existing space that is there now, right? So what we will have to do is do construction on the, oh, I think you're referencing perhaps that entire front room. Is that correct?
I'm not sure what it is, it's not labeled, there's not a first floor, but there appears to be a roof to the right of the master bedroom.
A roof to the right of the master bedroom.
That is not the porch.
We are not doing any additions to the.
My
yeah,
question is there a roof to the right of the master bedroom? On your driveway side?
On my driveway side, yes, there is.
Was any thought put into adding your addition onto that roof, which it appears to conform to setbacks?
No, there was not, and I believe it was because of the type of construction we would have to do. It was deemed that that would be a more difficult process in the conversations that we had with builders.
Okay, I don't have any other questions.
What year did you buy the house?
2015,
2015. And was the porch enclosed at that time?
it was.
In your opinion, and I know you're not an architect or an engineer, but are you not an architect or an
I
engineer?
am not an
Okay.
architect nor an engineer.
Okay. Could you tell or ascertain if the porch enclosure was original, or do you think that somebody may have added it over time? Like, do you think it used to be an open porch and then somebody enclosed it with windows and siding?
That is not my read, but I'm not the person. No, that is not my understanding, but I cannot speak to that.
Okay. So you're not sure if there was ever any permits, or the previous owner never left you any kind of documentation about that front porch?
We were not given any indication through documentation or otherwise that that has ever been not enclosed.
And so as far as you're concerned, this is an existing non-conforming use, and you're looking for a special exception to expand it, and you're only going straight vertically, right? So you're not going any further or closer to the street. You're not expanding it into its footprint, correct?
That is correct.
And you've already testified that your neighbors are in favor of this, even though, it's a twin house, and their house would not have this new addition, so they would look a little different. Is their front porch enclosed?
It is.
Could you walk through on A2 the materials that are planned for the renovation work?
And are you talking about the interior or exterior?
The exterior.
Exterior would be, it would be vinyl siding, which there is vinyl siding today. And then there's also a portion of siding that needs to be replaced that would be a wood shaker siding. But all of which would be, new and recently purchased.
Well, on A2, the one elevation refers to new stucco to match existing.
So that would just be to where the places where, yes, there is stucco already, where we'd have to, just for aesthetics.
Well, I'm looking at 3, with the front elevation proposed points to the new second floor as stucco to match existing. Is
Yes.
that not your intent?
No, that is. It's to match the exact same look and feel as it is right now. So where there is currently siding, we would expand the siding, and where it currently aligns with stucco, we would expand the stucco.
Okay, that's what I'm getting at, is that you're trying to match the character of the
Correct.
house and blend this new addition into your existing house as seamlessly
is
as
correct.
possible. Is that right?
Yes, that is correct.
That was all my questions. Thank you.
Anything else you'd like to add, Andy?
Nope, thank you for your time.
Don't think me crazy. I see the audience is empty, but I have to go through the little litany anyway. With that, I'll ask if there's anyone present that was certified now that wishes to testify, anyone who received regular mail, any residents of Haverford Township. Any unanswered questions? Yes, Ed?
No.
Jesse? No. With that, we'll close the record on this case and the decision will be rendered either this evening or at our next regularly scheduled zoning hearing.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
We're gonna take a recess. All right, we'll resume the meeting of the Haverford Township Zoning Hearing Board on Thursday, April 4th, 2024. With respect to case Z 2407, Robert and Emily Farabelli. Jessica, are you prepared to vote?
I am.
Ed, are you?
Yes, I am.
Jesse?
Yes.
And so am I. Jess, do you want to take that one?
Yes, with regards to case Z 2407, I would vote to approve the requested relief with the following reasonable conditions. One, that the porch shall not be enclosed. Two, that electric will be the only utility. Three, that water runoff shall be managed so as not to adversely affect the neighbors. The project shall be completed within 1 year and in accordance with the notes of testimony.
Okay. Jessica?
I disagree.
Ed?
I agree.
And so do I. That application is approved, 3-1. With respect to case Z2408, Design Properties LLC. Jessica, are you prepared to vote? Ed?
Yes, I am.
Jesse?
Yes.
And so am I. Jessica, you want to take that decision?
Yes, I would make a motion to approve the application contingent on planning commission approval.
Approval, right? Okay. Ed?
I concur.
Jesse?
I agree.
So do I. That application's approved 4-0. With respect to case Z2409, Andy Ritterman, owner of 1421 Delmont. Jessica, are you prepared to vote?
I am.
Ed?
Yes.
Jesse?
Yes.
And so am I. Ed, do you want to take that decision?
Okay. I vote to approve the requested special exception with the following conditions. The addition will be completed within 1 year from final approval and be constructed in accordance with the notes of testimony.
Jessica?
I disagree.
Jesse?
I agree.
So do I. That application's approved 3-1. Jess, do we have minutes?
Yes, we received minutes from Ernie for both our March 1st and our March 7th, thank you, that's why the math wasn't working, and the 21st meetings. I reviewed the minutes, no one else had comments that I saw, so I would make a motion to approve the minutes.
I second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? And I should have asked first, any discussion? All right, minutes are moved into the record. Okay, any other administrative matters? Then we are adjourned.